Okay.
It is 6:01. I am calling the meeting of the Energy Committee to order. Date is November 7th, 2023. First order of business today is to review our meeting minutes from September 5. Let's see, that's September 5, right? And September 5 is what we have here. Let's take a moment to review it. Good evening, Peg.
Good evening, Mr. Wysocki. And Eloise and Amy.
Hello. Whoa.
It's bigger.
Any questions on the meeting minutes?
Nope.
Motion to approve on the table.
Second?
All those in favor, signify
Aye.
by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Let's go take care of some older business from our last meeting, which, oops, I forgot to do my acknowledgement. This is an open session. Public meetings are subject to be recorded. Your image and voice will be recorded. So, where to begin? Probably the first thing I had a go-do was to schedule some time with Kristen to discuss a variety of issues. So I guess I'll make a report on what we discussed and hopefully close the dots or close the loop on a couple different things here. First of which was we did confirm that CMRPC has the funding and will be submitting our annual report for the green communities. So
Hallelujah.
that is in fact true. The last time that when I spoke to her, the Select Energy proposal was going before the Select Board, I believe that day. Peg, I don't know, was that carried? The
Solar.
Town Barn power purchase, that was approved? Okay, so our very own Select Board member has confirmed that that has gone through, so we should be looking forward to that soon. I also had a conversation with her asking about our past power purchase agreements to make sure that we weren't flirting with any double dipping or associated with that. And she put that out. We are totally in the clear. So we have nothing to worry about that. The two power purchase agreements that we had are actually two different sources under the same agreement. So the total amount that we're required to buy is actually governed by the single agreement. It's not, we don't have two sets, one for each source. It's one common source. So we have plenty of overhead to go forward without any problems with the town barn, and probably could entertain even a little bit more should we wish to go down that route. Also discussed our adder and how that money could be used based on the information that was provided to us by Colonial Energy Group. I went ahead and advised Kristen that we could use 17,000 plus or minus of our accrued funds for the purposes of I forgot the name of the company, Veritas, the facilities audit that's taking place to do an energy add-on. That seemed to be in keeping with the guidance that we received, that would be a service or a salary for convenient terms. So that will be happening. We could talk about that a little bit because, Amy, I think you've been involved in some of that as well.
A little bit.
Okay. The other, we talked about a couple things. I showed her that a lot of our past Energy Committee documents are on the Google Drive, and she wasn't aware of that, so she was able to dig in, and that was very helpful. So she has, like, our past green communities, our past reports, streetlight information, all that stuff. So she wasn't aware that that was all digitized and at her fingertips, so she was pretty happy about that. I'm trying to think what else we...
Excuse me.
Yes.
When will Veritas have
End of the year. because they're still going through the
I was gonna
buildings.
say, I think they're still,
Yeah, they've only made it halfway through. They've got the bigger buildings to do, this being one of them. Town Hall, Bullard, Cutorial, South Commons, Library, AMVets building, that too. I think.
no,
those-
I was wondering, are they gonna have public input before they do a final report?
No, it's all based on metrics for what they're looking at for the building, and it's honestly, it's just gonna spit back their recommendations to, if it's energy, what's needed, if we
to
go the energy
maintain,
route,
to-
if it stays upright, if it needs to come down. So there's really no public input to it. It truly is just a very systematical, does it meet this, and this? And all those have a score, and at the end, your score is, and that falls in the category of, yeah.
Then I would think there'd be a public.
I'm sure there would be a
Oh,
public
yeah.
hearing after that, you know. I
Like an
assume-
informational,
Yeah, Yeah.
what they found.
right. Because of course, there's always the budget that will be needed if they indicate buildings 1, 2, 3, 4 need to come down or should come down, their recommendation, because it's too costly to. It's gonna probably have to go to the town to figure out where that money's gonna come from.
Could I strongly suggest that you add the planning board, because they take it as their mission to project the town 10 years in advance.
Okay,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Alrighty, the other thing we talked about was setting up time for the, the vehicle audit and the conversation with our vendor on that respect. Hopefully she got in touch with you. I asked her to kind of coordinate through you, Amy. No? All right, I'll follow up with her. She said no problem. She would set aside an hour at a staff meeting for us. So I think you could probably approach her if you want and
Okay.
just give a couple dates to those guys. And she was very accommodating to that. And definitely understood our desire to make use of a existing meeting rather than setting up yet another round of meetings for busy people. So she's totally on board with that. So we have a kind of a green light to proceed to scheduling with that. I figured I didn't want to do it just because that seemed kind of silly with all of you guys
It
right
seems
here.
to be a duplication event.
Yeah, so I would ask Amy if you wouldn't mind just kind of ringing her doorbell and saying, when can we do that?
Yep.
And then, the other thing, just asked about structural again on the town barn. We're good to go for that. I think you mentioned that last time, Peg. We talked about, puppies, dogs, and people, but other than that, that's the business that was pertinent here. I think that was pretty much everything. I did see a flurry of emails that came after that conversation. One of which was to CMRPC saying, "Hey, are you engaged? Are you engaged with the Energy Committee? Can you, find out a little bit more?" I know that one of the grants that we were interested in went by, unfortunately, which I'm a little upset about. That was the one for the engineering services. But after I kind of thought about it a little bit, since we have Veritas doing a lot of this work, it may actually be a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because now we're going to be able to give the output of this survey
To someone.
to someone as an input to their work, which would probably save a lot of time and effort. So a little bit of blessing in disguise, we'll just call it that. As far as green communities, neither her nor I have heard anything more. I did not get a hold of Kelly yet. But again, I think that a lot of this work that's going to be coming out of Veritas will inform our decisions on green communities as well. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of what I had. She told me about the new police comfort dog, which I was very excited to see has arrived here. So that was
He's
fun.
very cute.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
He was
cute.
at the meeting last night.
Oh, was he
Yes.
really?
Jax, he will be officially sworn in next Monday.
Excellent. Just make sure you have pads on the ground. He's awful young. What else? I think we covered all of our old business. Any new business that we have here that we wanna-
I was gonna bring a document, but of course, 5 minutes before I came, I lost it in my office. And it was the document that the select board just signed about businesses can get energy grants.
Nothing's ringing a bell.
You did a proclamation, right?
Got nothing. Got
She
nothing.
put it in a safe place too.
That's right.
When you find that paper in your office, maybe I'll be able to find it in my brain.
Well, Dee came in and asked me to put the town seal on it. It was going to the state, and it would be like if Solomon Pond Mall needed to be energy efficient in order to stay in business.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming back.
Bits and pieces.
No, I remember that, but I don't remember exactly what,
The particulars.
yeah.
So I was just gonna bring it to them so that they are aware of it. I also asked her to share it with the planning board and the Economic Development Committee because they're in constant conversation with the businesses.
Yep.
So that was my only contribution.
That's your only
for tonight.
contribution? You got
Amy?
Amy, you got anything?
Nothing new.
All right.
I did just start getting new rounds of inspection things, but literally just the other day.
Okay. Awesome.
And it was only a couple of vehicles. The rest will come between, I think, March and May, he said.
Okay.
That was Fred.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. They do them all at once.
Yep.
I don't mean to wave the big red cape in front of the bull here, but did we find out about the infamous power cord down at the...
Well, I got my hand slapped for it, but what else is new?
For what?
It was actually quite magical.
It was magical that you got her hands...
Magical. It was magical.
So what's going on?
She got her hand slapped, and literally like the next day, the next bill came in,
Yeah.
right back down.
Do we know why?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I unplugged the big orange cord and kept going down to make sure that the big orange cord was unplugged. And did talk to Rec and said, whatever you have on in your little buildings that you don't need, shut it off.
Yeah.
So I think they went through with a couple of their fridges and went,
Well, if, you know, if like soccer's winding down and everything, it's,
Well, I mean, I don't begrudge the use of the electricity. I just want to make sure that it's being used appropriately.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it seems a little bit sketchy to me that they're using an extension cord to carry that kind of load.
That was my concern, was that it even though it's an outside
Yeah.
extension cord, I don't think it should just be plugged in and then left
No, that just
on the other end.
that just screams public hazard to me. So I mean,
because it is for their pitching machine.
okay. Yeah, I think we want to get them with the appropriate.
They were a little shocked. Rec was slightly shocked when I told them how much the bills were. So I think that kind of,
Well, we were all shocked.
yeah, I think that forced them into action because they realized that more than likely we'd be coming to them to say,
Yeah. Okay.
so.
Well, mischief managed.
So all I can
Slap
say
with
is
it. Mhm.
I'll keep watching it, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, granted, it is relatively small potatoes on the order of the overall town's budget, but it's good that we're keeping an eye on this stuff because Waste not, want not, right?
And those are the ones that show up like the most.
Drastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something like
It's like
that.
if something
I mean.
comes in at $10 every month and then all of a sudden it's 150.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also unplugged the gazebo lights too and told them to go buy solar.
You're on a roll.
They love her down there.
Oh, that's hysterical. Let's see.
Ask Roger if he has something, we're going
Oh,
around
yeah.
the table.
Roger?
The solar array got approved, when is it gonna go in?
No date yet.
I would guess probably spring,
Yep.
because they've largely missed their,
Their window.
Their
Yeah,
window.
For them to get up and do anything up on the roof, so.
it's supposed to be cold the next few days.
Yeah.
Sooner the better.
Yep.
And there is ample, I did confirm, because in the agreement it talked about storage, and I'm like, bad word. But apparently there's enough room behind the building for them to store the equipment that they need to get it up on the roof.
Okay.
And
Peg?
they'll bring in containers as well, if stuff can't
Oh, you mean
sit
like-
out.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Ms. Stone, do you have anything?
Nada.
Nada? All right, so it's dark out. We've gone through our daylight savings. Do we wish to discuss? I don't think we can get any earlier to avoid darkness. Do we want to start going virtual at this point, or what would you like to do? I can make 5:30 work. I thought about it today, and I'm pretty confident I could do 5:30.
I just figured I'd come in early and stay until the meeting.
Okay.
There's always, I mean, I could move into my office and not get everything done.
Amy, what's your thoughts?
Me as well.
So,
I'm fine with,
would you prefer 5:30?
yeah, that's fine.
Can you do Peg? Roger? All right.
Did you get the email I sent about training for this?
Yes. Perhaps we should talk about that before we get too much. So this was that the grant training, or which one was that?
That's how to work
The
the
hybrid.
equipment.
Oh, yes.
Particularly for, is that just for hybrid meetings?
Well,
That's for all, I
Any-
believe. Yeah.
any
Any
meeting.
meeting that they want to do hybrid, correct?
Let me make sure I've got all my various emails.
There's a
squared
reason
away.
James works in my office.
I know.
I didn't want to say it on television, but
You just did, Eloise. Yeah. No, there's what, a training during the day and then a training in,
Is it the 14th?
Yep.
I think so, at
Yeah, I think
6:30 or
it's
something
10
like
and
that.
10 and 6:30.
10:30, yeah, and 6:30.
Yes. Important mandatory hybrid meeting training, 11:14. Didn't see either of you on the distribution list. They don't love us anymore.
You're not the only ones I caught that weren't on there too.
Meeting at the town offices will be held November 14th at 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. following the budget workshops. So I
So
guess
there's budget workshops too.
there's budget workshops. Someone from your
Same
board
day.
committee must, emphasis added, attend this training to be certified to run the equipment, or you won't be able to use this meeting option. So there. All right, I will,
That's a threat
it's a threat. I will take care of
or a
that.
promise.
I will take care of that. Let's see what else we
Sure,
got.
figure it out for you. We have him.
are you going?
I could possibly go to the later one. I can't go to the morning one.
Okay.
Can I use the fact that November 14th is my son's birthday?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But
Okay.
of course.
It would be useless for me to go to the meeting.
Abs-
And there'll be written instructions.
Right, and there'll be instructions that will be passed out too, because I'm sure it's just not going to be a one and done. People are gonna forget what to do, so.
Okay.
Yep, so notification, just recapping, October 16th from Trish Settles, CMRPC. We just got the contract from DOER on the Regional Energy Planning Assistant, REPA, yay. Janet signed it yesterday, so as soon as we get that back from the state, we should be ready to go. Ian will be in touch shortly to discuss competitive grant application and the annual reporting requirements. And Kristen also asked about a spring round for green communities. We'll be getting, she didn't respond back on that, so we'll find out more about that.
I haven't seen anything since we got a new governor.
Nope, I haven't seen much. Yep. And then the last time we talked to Corinne Gustafson regarding from the
charging station.
the charging station. So hopefully we were able to help her. I was looking into that a little bit more, but seems like the environment has kind of settled a little bit. That's it for communications. We want to go ahead and set our next meeting.
Sure.
All right. So we're getting to December. The first Tuesday of
Can I
December.
say that once it gets snowy and nasty, then I'd be very inclined to go to Zoom.
Hybrid.
All right, so the first Tuesday of December is the 5th. And would you like to do 5:30 on the 5th, or would you?
I'll defer to Amy.
That's fine.
All right, so we'll set it for 5:30, December 5th.
Does that work for you, Pig?
Yep, she's good.
Okay. Roger?
Maybe.
Do you need it?
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not.
I have to look at my others.
No more treats for you.
So it's a different bat time, same bat channel. So we will be meeting at 5:30. I'm saying this again so I remember it, not so you do. And anything,
What would be the
agenda.
yeah.
I was just gonna go there. What do we need to chase? We need to chase green communities. We need to get absolute confirmation that our annual report is going to be done and submitted. So that would be 2 items.
But we also need a town report,
Oh, when are those due?
January 20th.
Okay. So that would mean that we should put on the agenda a discussion of what we want to put in this year's report and then approve a written.
Will we get a copy of the state report that CMRCP submits on our behalf?
We should, but I don't know if we'd have it by then.
Okay. Well, one of the other things is you often go back through your minutes and
Yeah.
see, what jumps out.
Yeah.
What about, are you interested in looking at budgets for things that have wheels?
I would love to look at budgets for things that have wheels. I think we should probably talk about that. I don't want to be a rabble-rouser, but I very much want to return the community to a greener fleet. There, I said it. So, yes, I want us to, personally would like us to do more in that area. What else we got?
Can you think of anything else?
I just saw an advertisement for a electric Cadillac.
All right.
Ooh.
It's got all the bells and whistles.
Should have plenty of room for.
$975,000.
What?
We get that free cash.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
But it's all electric.
Maybe just an electric scooter.
Green.
Maybe just a scooter.
Yeah. Anywho, okay. Hearing no more new business, I will go to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting adjourned at 6:26 p.m.